Wagwan, welcome back to my channel. So in this video I'm gonna do wine cake. So I am measuring 2 cups of all-purpose flour. This is 1 cup. The flour is already pre-sifted, however, just gonna pass it through a strainer just the same. This is another cup. So this makes 2 cups. I already sifted 2 levels of all-purpose flour. Now 1 leveled teaspoon of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon salt, 1 teaspoon mixed spice. This is what gives the baked product the real Jamaican flavor. So now I'm going to combine the ingredients. So in this container, I am adding 1 cup of white sugar. So I'm going to add 1 cup of chiffon to the white sugar. Now people always ask me, what is chiffon? Chiffon is margarine. It is Jamaicans, in Jamaica, #1 choice. It contains no cholesterol, no trans fat, added vitamin A, and heart healthy. This is what I use. If you want to use butter, go ahead. So I'm adding 1 cup of chiffon to the granulated sugar. And as I mentioned before, you can use butter if you want. Okay, so the chiffon is at room temperature. Make sure that whatever you're using, whether margarine or butter, it is at room temperature. Okay, so I'm also using 6 eggs. If you don't want to use eggs, use 1/4 cup of vegetable oil. However, the cake will not taste as good as if you use eggs. So first, before adding the eggs, I'm gonna cream the margarine and the sugar. And you can use brown sugar if you want as well. Cream margarine and sugar until mixture becomes light and fluffy. So now I'm gonna add the eggs. The eggs are at room temperature. The eyes removed. So now I am gonna add the eggs 1 by 1. Now to get rid of the eggy scent, I'm adding 2 teaspoons of lime juice. Okay, so wine cake it is. What is wine cake? Wine cake is basically Christmas cake without the fruits. It is called wine cake in Jamaica. It is not called Christmas cake without the fruits. It is called wine cake. You go into the supermarkets, it's wine cake. So I am using half cup of red label wine. And I'm using half cup of fruit wine. Normally I use only the fruit wine, but you know, other people in the family want a little red label wine in it as well. They love red label wine in their wine cake. So I'm adding it. Because you know I use the fruit wine only to make the Christmas cake. Right? This is what I love using. Because I'm not a fan of alcohol. So just gonna add. So that's half cup of red label wine, half cup fruit wine. So now I'm gonna add the wine. Right? So now I'm gonna add the flour mixture a little at a time. And this is vanilla flavoring. I don't think I will be adding any more wine to the mixture. This mixture is okay. Because after the cake is baked, I will have to wine it down, as we say in Jamaica. So that is adding more wine to the cake, right? Just like the Christmas cake. And at this point you can taste the mixture to see if, you know, the flavor is up to your standard. If not, just add whatever you believe that it needs, except for the wine, because you don't want to add any more liquid to this consistency, right? You want the consistency to be exactly like this. Unlike the Christmas cake that comes in many different shades, the wine cake only has one shade and it is dark, right? So I am gonna add some food browning. So I added a little bit of food browning. I'm gonna start to see how dark it is. Because even though wine cake is really dark in color, I don't want it to be extremely black like the ones in the supermarket. So it needs more browning. So I'm gonna add some more browning. And I think this color is okay right now because when it baked, it will becomes a bit darker naturally as well. Just scraping down the sides. And this mixture tastes so good and it smells good. One cake have a square shape, so I am using this container. So I'm gonna grease the container using a little bit of margarine, chiffon that is. So I'm gonna line the bottom with a piece of grease paper. In the meantime, I preheated an oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Pour the mixture into the baking container and then tap to releases the air bubbles, and then bake in a preheated oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 50 minutes. The wine cake is out of the oven. It smells so good. So now I am going to pour some fruit wine all over the cake. Or as we say, I'm winding down the cake. Then I'm going to cover with a piece of foil paper and allow to cool completely. So after a couple of hours, the cake is cool. And now I'm going to remove it from the container. Just remove the grease paper from the bottom. So now I'm gonna try to cut the wine cake into squares, just like the ones in the supermarket. Yeah, man. So this is my homemade wine cake. Tastes much better than the ones in the supermarket because most of them in the supermarket are very dry. My homemade wine cake is very moist, very nice, very delicious. So this is Jamaican homemade wine cake. Thanks for watching.